Don't make me laugh, okay? Welcome back, everybody. My name is Dave Hayes, and this is Hayes Tech and ROM Reviews. I'm also going to be putting this video on my other channel, which is Life Post Stroke. This is the giveaway video that we've all been waiting for. Well, I don't know about all of us, but quite a few of us have been waiting for it. My wife finally got both of the quilts finished. She finished the last one, which you see behind me. No, actually the one underneath, last night. So they're both done. The only thing that needs to be done now is wash them. She's going to wait until we have the drawing and wash them right before we ship them out. That way they're nice and clean and ready to go. And again, remember, we are only giving away one quilt. So whoever wins will be able to choose from between either one of these quilts that I'm going to show. So what I'm going to do in this video is show you guys the quilts, and of course we are announcing the giveaway. Now I would like to introduce the person who made these quilts, and my wife does not want to talk on camera. You know, it is what it is. I used to be that way too, but I do want to introduce her. Kathy, come on over here. She's the one watching the cameras from behind. Just step right here. There she is. That's my wife, Kathy, and she is the one that made these quilts, and I think she did a damn good job. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. And as always, if you liked my video, don't forget to hit that like button and share my videos. It really helps me out. And if you're new to the channel and you like what you saw, think about subscribing. And if you subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell icon. That way you get a notification of my videos as soon as I release them. Okay, so I just now changed all the camera angles, except of course for the action camera over there. I have it just on a close-up in general, keeping, I guess, that view alive. I can tell you right now that there has been about a month solid work into each one of these quilts. Now, I do have the measurements of the quilts, and the quilt on top, which we are calling the spring quilt, is 70.5 inches by 77.5 inches. So this one here is a little bit larger than the winter quilt, okay? And not by much. We're talking about maybe 2 inches each way, which you'll see. The winter quilt is 71 inches by 75 inches. So all in all, if you look at the square footage, they are almost identical. So what we're going to do is go ahead and show you the differences between them. The one that's on top that you are viewing right now is, of course, the winter quilt. As you can see, the pattern is a like a thin pattern that's offset. She switches it, it runs this way, then this way, then this way, then this way, and then she has a slight border between each one of them, and then of course she went around it with a solid color which matches this, and then she even did something different and went with a darker outline color, which you'll be able to see in this camera down here. You can see she added a little touch to that. And of course, all these strings, I can't guarantee we're going to get them all off, guys, but she is trying to get each and every little itsy bitsy string off of it so that you get a perfect quilt. But as you can see, this is the pattern. Now, if you look, this is what I like about quilts. All of the stitches that go into this quilt, you actually get to see through the back. So you guys can now see, you know, everywhere she's stitched. You can see where she stitched at. And to be honest with you, when she's completely done with it, she'll flip it over and put it on the table in the light, and she just looks at the pattern, and she'll be able to tell if she missed, you know, stitching something. Which, again, if you look at this, all the stitching is just, I mean, there's a lot of time goes into stitching, because everybody thinks that the hardest part is sewing all those little squares together, and yes, it's hard. Don't get me wrong, it is very hard. It's in its whole is what is the hardest part. It's just making the whole quilt itself. So again, this is the summer or spring quilt, I guess is what we're calling it. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this up, let you guys see the one that's underneath. Okay, this is the other quilt. This is the one she started first. This was the one that we were originally just going to give away, was this one here. And of course we called this one the winter quilt. And as you guys can see, the pattern on this is more of a diamond into a square, into a larger square. And of course it's got the diamond in it. My favorite is this one right here. And again, of the two quilts, this one here is my favorite. As you can see, the pattern on it is is like a little triangle, and then she sewed those together to make a square, and then she sewed 4 squares together to make a larger square, but she did it in such a way so that there is a diamond in the middle of it. So she just went all out on both of these quilts. This one's my favorite, but I love that one too. When she first started making it, I wasn't too crazy about the colors. It was too, I'm gonna say it, it was kind of girly looking to me, but once she got it done, I was like, damn, that's a nice looking quilt. I actually like that one too. But for me, my favorite color is purple. It always has been, or more like a burgundy, like this color here. I don't really much like purple, but burgundy I love. That's, if my truck would be painted this color, that's what color my truck would be. I just love burgundy. But I'm going to go ahead and show you the stitching that went into this. Okay, so you can now see the stitching, of course, on my little cam park over there, if it's still recording. You can definitely see the stitching that went into it, but I wanted to fold it over like I did the other quilt and let you all see what it looks like on the back. Now, she did the same kind of trim that she did on the other quilt, but she did not change the color of it. It's all this burgundy color, running up the center. But again, now you can see exactly where she stitched everywhere in this quilt. That's one of the reasons I like a solid color back, because you can see how much time and effort went into making a quilt like this. There's a lot of time in sewing. My gosh, if I could count how many of those giant spools of thread that she put, not those little ones that you get, not those little teeny spools of thread that you get. They're great big bobbins. Remember, when she sews them together, then she has to go over the entire quilt and sew around each and every one of the patterns. She goes around each and every one of them. Okay, now you can see a view of both the front and the back to give you an idea. Now remember, she has not washed this quilt yet, so a lot of these little teeny strands of thread, it's going to be gone. And again, when she's done with that, she'll go over it again and by hand and make sure there are no stragglers, or at least try to make sure there are no stragglers. Anytime you purchase or get or make a homemade quilt, you are going to have a straggler. You may have to cut off on your own. These little strings right here. Well, this one's not attached, but sometimes they're still attached, and nope. See, these are just little pieces that are just left over. But sometimes you'll find a little string attached to the quilt that you may have to cut off. Just take a pair of fingernail clippers and clip it off. That's all you got to do. Hey, they're not perfect. They are quilts. My wife is so freaked out and paranoid that everybody's going to say, well, these aren't perfect. We're giving them away, number one. And number two, they're quilts. They're homemade quilts. That's what is nice about homemade. It doesn't have that mechanism behind it that you get when you purchase one from a store that's made by a computer process, and hundreds and thousands of them are made, in a day. No, this took one person over a month to make by hand. Well, with the help of a sewing machine. But okay, I'm going to get the other quilt and put it on top of this one. Okay, this gives you an idea of both of the quilts together, so you can decide which one you want. And I did it in such a way where you can see the front and the back of both quilts. And again, you guys are going to decide which one you want. Now, the person that can't get the quilt, like say if we draw somebody's name and the number 1 winner is overseas, we can't ship this quilt overseas, okay? It just can't be done, especially if this whole coronavirus crap going down. They're going to win that Logitech C920S, and it is a very nice web camera. It will shoot in 1080p, and it has a lot of different fields of view. It is an outstanding video camera, but this is what I'm going to give away if the person's name we draw is out of the country, you know, for the #1 pick. So the first name we draw, #1, is going to be for this quilt. Okay, that's the way it goes. It's going to be for, you get to pick one of these quilts. But if that person is outside the country, they are going to win the Logitech instead. Then I'm going to draw a second person's name. That second person will win whatever the first person doesn't get, okay? Okay, so if that first person's name that I draw is outside the US, they're obviously going to get the Logitech. So the second person's name that I draw, they'll get the quilt, okay? So I hope you guys understand how that's going to work. So it doesn't matter, the first person's name I draw is going to win the quilt, unless, of course, they are outside the United States. So that's just the way it goes. I'm not going to let the first person choose. The first person that gets drawn wins the quilt, unless they are outside the United States. Then by default, they get the Logitech camera. And then the second person's name that I draw will get the Logitech camera, unless, boy, this gets confusing. The first person's name I draw is outside the United States, and I had to give them the Logitech camera instead. So, I hope that made sense. Alright, well, that's all for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, I am going to let this video up for at least a month. I'm not going to let it go for more than a month and 2 weeks. So, 6 weeks at the max. I want to give enough time for everybody who is subscribed to my channel to get a chance to get in on this drawing. I also want to make it clear that I want to kind of send this across both videos, but what I'm going to do is, in the video that I upload to my Life Post Stroke channel, I'm going to send all of them over to this channel and have them get in on the drawing on this channel. So this is going to be the only channel that you can actually get into the drawing from, okay? I'm opening this up to both of my channels. Now, I do have more than 2 channels, but those are the 2 channels that I'm opening it up to. So, I hope you all liked the video. I just want to say, again, thank you to every one of you out there. This was something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and this is a big one. Regardless of what a lot of people know about quilts, they are expensive. If you went out and purchased one of these quilts, you are looking at several $100s to purchase a handmade quilt this size. My wife enjoyed doing it, and like I said, it was her idea to give you guys a choice. Do you want the winter quilt? Do you want the spring quilt? So I wanted to try to keep this video as short as possible, and that I am going to say it now, guys. That's all I got. That's all in this video. So remember, all you got to do to get in this is comment below. In order to get into this drawing, you have to comment below. Comment below and just say, put me in the drawing. That's all you got to do, all right? Comment below and say, put me in the drawing. And you are in the drawing. So, thank you all for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you're new to the channel, think about subscribing. Now, that's all I have. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one. And don't forget, 6 weeks from now, we're going to have the drawing. So, sign up below.